And all right, enough of that. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome, Grog Nerds. Welcome to You Got Me Monologuing. I'm Tony.
I'm occasionally Pasquale.
I am Undead Joey.
I'm still Grognard Todd.
And he will always be Grognard Todd. How we doing, gentlemen?
Good, how are you?
Yes.
It's been a week. I started drinking early today because.
Wow.
Yeah, let me get that. I logged off at 4, and by 4:01 I had bourbon in my belly.
I mean, the thing is, you didn't be drinking at 3:59.
That explains why you didn't drive me back from college.
You're right. I did not. I told your mom. I'm like I shouldn't go pick him up.
Yeah, smart.
Actually, for you it wouldn't have been bad, but by the time your sibling called, I'm like, yeah, I should not be driving even over to the school. No, I'm not.
It's good to know your limits.
Yeah,
It's important, I think.
Well, I'd be driving right past the South Elgin police
Well,
station.
I mean, as long as you got all your clothes on and your butt's not hanging out the window, you probably be all right. But it's better to be safe than sorry.
I mean,
Dear God,
did you
man.
have pants on for crying out loud?
Maybe.
they might be hanging out with their butts out the window.
Well, there you go. I might drop my daughter off at school in my pajamas and Crocs in the morning, but
Right.
at least I have pants on.
Wow.
Well, yeah, no. The pants were fine. It's the booze and the happiness because I was no longer working.
Right.
There was
How dare you
So
drive
are
happy?
you off tomorrow?
Oh no.
Oh, no, you got to work
Oh
tomorrow.
no, I got to work.
I'm
tomorrow.
working for a bank, so I'm off tomorrow.
Veterans Day, yeah. No, I've got to work tomorrow. They gave us a floating holiday we can use for any holiday,
yeah.
so
That's good.
I burned that earlier in the year. I'm off Friday because I will be attending and co-chairing the gaming room at WindyCon.
WindyCon.
Yeah.
Where is WindyCon?
WindyCon is at the Lombard. It's good to know where I'm going.
You probably should look into that.
Probably. WindyCon. This is WindyCon 47, which is amazing.
Hey, speaking
It's a hard sci-fi. Go ahead. Give me a second. It's a hard science fiction. It's in Lombard. I knew that. Which
Science
hotel?
fiction.
Hard science fiction and fantasy convention. Cool. It is at the WindyCon Urban Fantastic. It doesn't even. It's not even clear on the website.
Hey, really? A small convention has a really horrible website and doesn't even tell you where to go or when to be there? That's shocking.
November
and
12th to 14th in Lombard, Illinois.
Right.
Great.
But
So just drive to Lombard. You'll be fine.
Right.
You can't miss it.
I can get. Shut up. Man, I'm the co-chair. I am the co-gaming chair
Right there,
of this
did it say
convention.
right there at the bottom? Apparently, you don't have anything to do with website design.
No, not at all.
Well, forget website design. They need a copywriter.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking
Oh, yeah.
at this right now. They're talking about room rates and stuff, but they're not identifying the room.
Right, they're not identifying the hotel. It's at a Marriott. I know that.
Marriott and Lombard.
Marriott and Lombard. Okay, we've
all
nailed
you
it.
need to know.
The Westin.
Ah, there it is. The
It's at
Westin,
the Westin.
Westin.
Lombard Yorktown Center.
Oh, okay.
But
So it's
that's
right
not,
off-
that's not the top thing that it says. It doesn't say that
Right.
front and center.
Yeah, it's near Yorktown Mall.
They need a UAT lead to test their website
Well,
before
you know,
publication.
as we've discussed, or if we haven't, we will discuss, or everybody knows, everything in this industry, in other words, gaming industry at all, like, is all just passionate amateurs, right?
Yes.
Everybody's a volunteer.
Yeah.
Everybody's an amateur. Nobody does this for a living. We all just do it for fun. And so that's why you have, subpar websites and you have subpar organization, and everybody's a volunteer. So everybody's got more important things on their mind to do. And I'm sure it'll be a very fine and fun little convention. I've been to many of those. And
Yeah.
I'm sure I've
Yeah.
been to that one. In fact, I was probably a vendor at that
The
one.
thing
once
that
upon a
kills
time.
me is the industry has a bunch of designers amongst their men, but nobody ever partakes properly.
Right.
It's
Can't afford to
never
pay them is
right.
the thing, right?
Well, the thing is, the organizers are never in the industry. It's like, oh, here's our game design guest of honor, and we're going to design a bad game in their honor because we don't know how to design, and we can't ask the guest of honor to design. Carlos Hernandez, more than 30 works of fiction, poetry, prose, and drama.
I should not have drank that.
He is
whole
the
root
author
beer.
guest of
I'm
honor.
Suffering.
Do you need to belch?
I don't know. I'm just stabbing chest pain.
You've seen Forrest Gump, right?
No.
You should now go watch Forrest Gump. I drank 15 root beers.
Dr.
Dr. Peppers. I drank 15 Dr. Peppers.
I think I'm going to die. I think this is my time.
And welcome to the show for anybody who's new. Thanks for joining us tonight.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
So yeah,
WindyCon.
They're expecting. I think they've got 1,200 registrations.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
It is. It's not huge. It's not tiny.
So is it when it's a science fiction convention? Does that mean gaming or like movie viewing?
So
gaming, poetry, music, or
yes,
cosplay.
a little bit of everything. WindyCon, Capricorn, DuckCon are the three Chicago-based sci-fi cons like this, and they tend to skew more towards hard science and science fiction fantasy authors. They do bring in artists. They do bring in. There is a gaming guest of honor, but the problem is that these kind of conventions. I was doing WindyCon and Capricorn 20 plus years ago, and it's like getting gamers to come to a sci-fi convention, telling them, "Yes, can you please buy a full weekend bed so you can play in these two events all weekend?"
Right. No,
it doesn't work.
Right.
So we're catering the game room this year. I'm working with my buddy Rob. We're catering the game room to trying to bring the participants of the people who were there for the convention into the room.
Right. Instead of the other way around.
Right. Instead of trying to draw people into the convention by saying, "Hey, there's a bunch of gaming."
The draw isn't gaming, but you can make gaming a draw.
Correct.
Right.
So we're doing 4 intro rounds of D&D modules.
Oh, that's
so
fun.
we're saying and it's like no experience necessary.
Sure.
It's like, did you play back in the 80s when you were in your early 20s?
Right.
Or did Stranger Things pique your interest? Come on by. We'll give you a couple of introductory games and we'll get you under there. I'm doing a learn how to paint with the D&D paint night kits that were so graciously purchased for us by Grognard Games.
Our other sponsor.
So we're trying to do little things like that. And we've got a board game library that's going to be set up. We're going to run some less organized, but hey, come sit down and let's play a game.
Yeah, right over there, Joey. Some of that root beer finally coming out.
A little.
I mean, is this alcoholic root beer?
No, it's just root beer.
No, it's all the carbonation.
Note to self: don't chug a root beer before you go on the mic. I mean, this is podcast 101, right?
This is
Pod
the time
101.
I expire.
Now we're learning.
So they're fun.
Is our friend Tim Akers going to WindyCon?
I don't know if Tim is going to be there or
I'll have to
not.
shoot him a note.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's done it in the past.
These conventions, they're fun. I've been to a bunch of them. You go for the film room because there's usually a film room, and sometimes it's eclectic stuff. Sometimes it's more, a little bit more mainstream stuff. You go for the panels, but what you really go for are the parties.
That's right.
These cons, they have entire party floors, so you have to tell them, "Hey, I plan on hosting a room party." You go for the con suite, you go for the friends. It's the programming's there. I mean, it's not horrible. Let's take a look here. There it is. Download the program schedule. So we've got 6 players per session. D&D programming is there. They're doing a staged reading of a play by Rory Leahy, Torak the Inadequate.
Cool.
There's a writer's workshop. We're doing miniature painting. There's D&D. We're doing readings, how to become a professional writer, stuff like that.
Hey, there's a Dragon Burlesque 101. You should try that out.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Hold on.
We might actually get some viewers.
Wait.
Right?
Dragon Burlesque. Like the Dragonborn race or like actual dragons?
And Burlesque.
This is gonna be the burpiest podcast of all time.
Not
between Bourbon Boy over here and Root Beer Boy over here.
Oh my God, that was so much.
Well, and this one also just thought dragons are doing burlesque.
Classy.
Well,
remember that time we listened to Critical Role?
Con, right? How would that be out of place?
I mean, you're not lying.
You're not lying.
You're not lying.
I'm sure it exists.
Cross-dressing dragons.
I'm sure it exists.
So if you're interested in stuff like
cross-dressing dragons,
cross-dressing
dragons.
sorry.
I mean WindyCon.
Well, if you're interested in stuff,
we should probably stop talking about WindyCon. We're not doing it any favors.
I do actually have a question related to conventions.
Yes.
Do we know when C2E2 is going to be next year?
Say that again faster.
C2E2.
Do we know when Chuchi Wuchi is going to be?
C2E2.
C2E2. You just
So-
made that one word. C2E2.
Yeah, because I'm so used to saying this
December.
one word.
No, that's
Next year.
Sorry, you wanted 2022.
Yeah.
And the answer is August 5th.
Okay, cool.
Oh, so they moved it to August.
Well, I mean, they have
According
to
to the
slowly
Google.
they have to slowly readjust it back to normal.
Yeah, because normally it's an April show. It's August or it's March, April.
Except for that one time it was,
Well,
you know,
August
February.
they'll put it smack dab in convention with
Gen Con.
Gen Con.
Well,
Ooh.
honestly, I don't know.
Oh, that'll suck.
Is it the
Wait.
same weekend?
Oh, if it
Gen
is
Con is the
under-
4th through the 7th. There is an overlap.
God
Same weekend.
Oh, scheisse.
bless America. C2E2. What is wrong with you?
That's some shitty programming.
That's pretty funny.
That's bad.
I'm
What do we do?
I call the gamers actually end up going to Gen Con, skipping C2E2. It's the pop culture enthusiasts end up going.
Well, and the thing of it is because I do both. And C2E2 this year.
I know you're one of the rare that did both.
I'm looking at the C2E2 guest list, and there are a couple of good. They just put out our more comic guests today, including Rob Liefeld.
Oh.
Ask him to draw you a pair of hands and feet.
No,
Well,
I wouldn't ask him. No, ask him to draw you
sure.
a pair of Captain America titties.
I'm sure he's sick of that. I'm sure he's
what?
sick of that that conversation.
I'm sure.
and honestly, the only reason I was asking is because I will not be able to attend C2E2 this year, due to the fact that I'm not really going to be able to request work off between Black Friday and Christmas.
Probably not.
Welcome to retail.
This sucks.
Wait,
Where's
C2E2, I thought we just said it was in August.
That was 2022. 2021 this year is in December.
Oh, they haven't even had it yet this
Right.
year.
Nope.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
And I'm sad.
Then I
'Cause
know
Hayden
exactly, trust
Because
me.
Hayden Frisch.
Here, I will let
I'm a
you
big
segue
Liefeld-
onto tonight's topic.
I'm a big Liefeld friend. or
One of
fan.
December's
Oh, there you
guests
go.
is
There you-
Chris Claremont.
Right.
Yes, Chris Claremont.
And what does Chris Claremont do? His claim to fame.
Never heard of him. Teasing. Just teasing.
No, but we've got some decent guests so far. Yes, Chris Claremont of X-Men fame, and he is fantastic to stand around and talk to.
Yeah, no, he is. And my buddy who I enjoyed talking to, Charles Soule.
Yes, Charles Soule is going to be there as well.
And then we're also Hayden Christensen is also going to be there, which makes me really sad because I kind of wanted to meet him.
well, you're saving some money then.
Bruh. Dude, I literally dressed as Anakin Skywalker for Halloween once.
I know. I'm
You
sorry.
heard Tim Zahn is, and my buddy Wes Chatham.
Yes.
Tell them about your plans for C2E2 cosplay-wise.
I only do one cosplay,
Yeah.
and I only break it out at special events.
Yeah.
The man with the blue balls
We know.
himself.
I'm gonna
We
do-
know.
Yeah, I'm going to do
Thrawn
Thrawn
Swanson.
again.
Yeah. And he's going to do it the day he meets Timothy Zahn.
Yeah.
That is going to be hilarious.
Of course.
And you're not going to be there.
Why is that?
And I am so
why is that
sad.
hilarious?
It's a combination of Grand Admiral Thrawn, a character Timothy Zahn created, and Ron Swanson, who is just
Well, I know,
hilarious.
I know what the mashup is. I didn't know the reason why
Yes,
it would be hysterical.
Timothy Zahn created Thrawn.
Thrawn. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I will be going to get his autograph on some stuff. Oh, they've got gaming guests. Who's
I
gaming?
think you should have him.
By
Not
gaming,
gaming
you mean
guest.
video gaming.
I think
Well,
you should
for-
write
Hold on,
his
let me
signature on your body, and then you should have it tattooed.
That'd be fun. John Cena and Hayden Christensen. Let's see who else. Chris
Who do
Claremont.
they have under gaming?
Absolutely nobody.
Like, actually?
Absolutely,
It's just a
actually
category.
nobody.
They don't have anybody listed yet.
Well, Sam Maggs had to cancel because she's working on Kodor.
Fair enough.
Anywho, so yeah, that's what we got coming up. How was your week, Pasquale?
Oh, I'm in the midst of a long week at work.
Me too.
As always. Yeah, I don't know.
We got to go pew 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 on Monday.
Yeah, we did. That was, you know what? I will say that's the one thing I am enjoying, and I want to push for more alternate formats instead of sitting around. Because prior to this Monday, I spent maybe 6 weeks only being able to play one game and sitting
Right.
around doing nothing.
Yep.
So I think it's a good use of alternate format to,
to get everybody
play one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
down
talking
with it.
about X-Wing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking specifically about X-Wing, but
Right.
just like, and when it comes to any games,
I thought
you
it
go
was
to any game
X-Men.
store, whether it's Grognard's or not, that sometimes you might not have an opponent.
Right.
You show up to the table empty-handed.
Right.
So, in this specific game, I don't know. I think Kings of War even might have an alternate format.
Not really.
No? Okay.
I'm sure it exists, but nobody
Battletech,
plays
you guys
it.
have alternate formats.
Battletech is anybody do anything they want to. It's kind of open up.
Yeah.
It's it's crazy, loosey goosey.
Yeah.
But
So that's what we're just trying to
Yeah, yeah.
encourage. So
yeah,
just
for sure.
so people understand.
Well, whatever gets people to show up and play, and when they do, whatever gets people to play when they show up. So at least
Right.
if you're going to show up, you should get to play. And that's why I always say, if nothing else, in most every game. The other day, Tony and I were going to play BattleTech, and then Art showed up, and we're like, oh, well, he wanted to play. So, Art and I would just teamed up then and played against Tony. And so that way you can play 3 players, still a
That makes sense.
team game,
Right.
but it's a 3-player game just so that everybody gets to play.
And
And we
to
had a
be-
blast. It was a lot of fun.
And to be honest, I was actually thinking about with the new kids who actually did much better this year, this last week.
Yeah.
Is we could always do the same thing, team up. Like somebody can go on his team, like myself, and we can play a third person.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do something like that.
Anyhow, so yes, that's been good. So yeah, it's the one major highlight of the week when it comes to gaming. I did finish my Armada paint job that I started my new faction collection courtesy of Gragnar Games.
Your Armada.
My Star Wars Armada ships. I
you're
bought that
painting
core
them?
set that you guys. I wanted to repaint it, so
Gotcha.
I started with the squadrons because those are unpainted.
Sure, yeah.
That come out of the core set, and then obviously in the core set there's 3 capital ships. But I didn't like the red and gray scheme, and so I decided to use the airbrush and paint it over them a little bit with the new base coat, and then I hand painted the blue.
Nice.
Cool.
So
yeah.
you need to let me know when you want to show me how to play because
Yeah.
I still have all that stuff and I
Yeah,
still have yet to play.
you took in a $2,000 collection of Armada.
I still have yet to play.
Wow.
So.
I think
it's
it's
literally everything. Everything you would need to play Rebels or
crazy.
Imperials.
we should definitely do it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
So my week has mainly been spent trying to catch up on schoolwork because I've kind of been falling behind.
Because he's learning how to balance
Time management.
work and college.
Work,
Yeah.
college,
This
fun.
is a new experience, and it
But the
sucks.
good news is it's an age-old dilemma, and you'll figure it out.
You will.
Yeah, but because of this, I'm actually after this podcast, I'm going to take some time off to focus on some schoolwork, at least until through the end of the month. Like
Yeah,
I
he's
should be
gonna-
back in December.
Yeah, he's going to take a couple of weeks off, get him through his finals, and then
And when we get in that, who knows what's happening during the holidays anyway. So.
right. Well, we
I'm
know
sure we'll
that
miss a
we
couple
know that
days.
in that next week we're going to try and wrangle Leif in here. We're going to
Oh, yeah.
we're going
Have
to
a
try and
guest-
have a guest
guest host.
because he is the resident Dune expert.
Oh, I'll bring the big guns.
I'm just thinking of a ridiculous Dune skit I saw earlier and like a try not to laugh thing.
Are we talking books? Are we talking 1984 Lynch's Dune?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah,
I was
for
just
sure.
curious.
Well, you guys will be.
Leif
I actually
is-
have legitimate questions I want to ask.
Yeah.
Leif is the guy to ask the questions to. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I only read the first book and then the movies, obviously.
Right.
So.
And I never did read the book and the original movie.
There's Bizarro World.
Yeah, it didn't do it for 13-year-old Tony at that point in time.
But it had Patrick Stewart.
It had Patrick Stewart. Yes, it had.
Gurney Halleck.
But nobody
the
knew
original.
who he was back then.
Right.
I mean,
He was a
1984,
British
surely Next Generation
theater
had to be out
actor.
then.
No.
And he was holding a cat.
No.
Or a dog. Sorry, it was a dog.
This was 5 years prior to the Next
Yeah.
Generation.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
5 or 6.
The only thing I knew him
82 or
from
83.
was Excalibur. He was in
Excalibur,
Excalibur
yes.
like 3 years in 81 or something. I think
Yep.
it came out.
well, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nobody knew who he was at that
He was
point.
just a guy. I mean,
He's
you
the
know,
bald dude.
He was a stage star in
Yes.
England.
the Royal
but
Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Theater.
Now he's freaking Professor X.
Now
Now he's
Professor X.
everything.
And everywhere.
Yep.
Everyone.
Picard season 2.
The only thing I have to say is that tomorrow I'm going to go see Jeff Tate at the Arcada. in
That'll
St.
be
Charles.
fun. So looks like
Parking's
fun.
going to suck, but enjoy.
And last night I finished
Never
The
fun.
Punisher.
So yeah, Joe, we got
Punisher.
through the Netflix show. John
Oh,
Bernthal.
gotcha.
Yep.
So he got through that.
It's very good. I enjoyed
One
that a lot.
last show, and then I'm done, and we can start binging The Witcher.
He's like, Dad, we should watch The Witcher. I'm like, okay, but let's get through our MCU. We started this a year ago.
Right.
Let's get through it. We got one season left, and it's probably one of the weaker seasons. I wasn't the biggest fan of season 3 of Jessica Jones, but we'll get through it. We'll have some fun. We'll enjoy it. Oh, it's not. But here's the thing. It's weaker than the rest, but it's better than a lot of shit that's on television.
Fair enough. I mean, is it better than Iron Fist?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I one of the reasons I like Jessica Jones is because it is different than everything else, right? It's a completely different kind of thing. So.
Yeah, and honestly, out of all the shows, I feel like it actually has like the best intro sequence. Like, I love the art style, the noir type music that just keeps ramping up. It's fucking glorious.
Yeah, it's cool.
What up, Gloom? How you doing out there? We're here. On that note, speaking of Professor X and Patrick Stewart, let's go. Unless you got something special you want to talk about.
I was just gonna say, let's mention our actual sponsor before we get into our topic.
Our actual sponsor.
Yes.
Oh wow, they got it out. They haven't sent that to me.
They got their new
new
Elric's
logo.
Hobbies. You have their new logo up.
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's simple, but it makes sense, and it's very easy to understand what it is.
Our sponsor, of course, D&D Beyond.
So our sponsor is Elric's. You don't mess with the money, kid.
What are you talking about?
What is wrong with you?
I don't
talking
think
about.
If there was an eject button, we'd be hitting it right now.
D&D Beyond is a sponsor for a lot of
This is our
stuff,
sponsor right here.
including Critical Role.
Right.
Wow.
We're not Critical Role though.
Yeah.
We got me
I wish we
monologuing.
were.
We're the opposite of Critical Role.
We have
We're the literal opposite of Critical Role.
we have 2 sponsors, one of which is sitting right next to us,
But don't ignore him. He's wearing the shirt.
That's right. That's right.
and Elric's Hobbies, where you can get some fantastic
Model bases.
model bases in all sorts of sizes, 20, 22, 25, 28, 30, 40, 50 millimeter bases for all your wargaming needs.
Round,
but we do need to
square,
we need to talk to him about making some
kinds of-
hex base.
all kinds of games. Yeah.
And one day Tony will actually play his Legion army on the Legion bases from Elric.
It would be cool to get some really good small scale hex bases for BattleTech.
Right, exactly.
And, for like infantry and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll have to ask him. I have no clue. I don't know anything about the manufacture of that kind of stuff. So I don't know, how hard it is because obviously they do square and round, but
Right.
I have no clue what goes into another shape. So
You should get some of this base debris rubble they have on their website, so it looks like
Have
one
some
of the
of that,
BattleTech.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, go to the Grognard Games website and you can find a wide plethora.
Yep, Grognard
Wide
carries
variety.
it. You can go to their website and check it out, and very soon, both Grognard and the podcast, the Twitch stream, I guess I should say. I always call it a podcast. We should call it
Yeah.
a stream instead of a podcast, but we'll have a discount code here, probably, I don't know,
Yeah,
hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the goal.
But that way, if something that the store doesn't have in stock, or if you just want to order it and support the stream, you'll get a discount code, and you can order it direct from elricshobbies.com, ELRIKS
CH.
hobbies.com.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a K.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay.
that is okay.
E-L-
I was just
Elric,
no, because
E-L-R-I-K.
like I'm looking at it now.
But yeah, I've got a sample of their Legion bases sitting, waiting for me. Wait, I test out those pencils from Mini Masterworks. I need to find a better way to use them because the issue that I had last night in working with them is when they're dry, they don't lay down enough pigment, and then when you try and put more down, you literally tear up I was tearing up paint. Or if I pre-wet the surface and then I drew on it, I just dropped a crap ton of pigment onto the thing.
Gotcha.
So there's going to be a learning curve with those pencils, I
Sure.
think. I love their other products that I've got. I did put some palette guard in my wet palette. I don't have a control for that because I never grow anything on my wet palette. But they're mixing. They've got the glass mixing beads, which are fantastic, and the paintbrush carriers for when you're traveling to and from conventions are really good. So once again, all right, let's move on to our topic at hand. Thank you to our sponsors, Grognard Games and Elric's Hobbies. Mini Masterworks, you thank you for the shout out. We're going to figure out how to make work with those pencils really, really well. I promise you that. So, yes. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, that builds up.
You drew attention to it.
I
Yes.
know. I did that intentionally.
So stop me from doing it?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly
Ah,
correct.
cool.
Anyway, so X-Men. So I'll kind of kick us off because the X-Men were my second gateway into comics. First for me is always Star Wars, right? That's where everything started. It was Star Wars and Batman, my very first comics that I ever bought. But right behind that, I discovered X Factor very, very early on. I want to say it was around X Factor 7 or 8 was out at the time. The original X-Men. And of course, I'm like, what do you mean original X-Men? I must check out the X-Men now. So I started picking up the X-Men. And it's about a couple of years before you. I was starting to reading them in 86. So I went back, I set my limit. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to issue 200. So my X-Men collection started at 200 and ran for however many years I collected it. And I was there. I started right around the time of the Fall of the Mutant storyline, which introduced us to Sabretooth and the Blue Archangel, who was predominant. Your first appearances of Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister were woven in there, and that was my introduction to the X-Men. Let's go around. Pasquale, how did you come about?
I'm a cliche. It was the Fox cartoon.
Sure.
That was written by Chris Claremont, and was it Saturday mornings?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was Saturday morning.
Oh yeah.
So my Saturday mornings were it was like the Ghostbusters cartoon that was written by our boy that did Babylon 5.
The real
Michael
Ghostbusters?
Straczynski. Yep, the real Ghostbusters. And then I remember automatically going to X-Men. And actually, X-Men, at one point, didn't that run do after school at some point during the week?
Yeah, it did.
And I just remembered probably really enjoying the whole run with Jean Grey turning into the Dark Phoenix. Because it was the best way. And every time they try to do it as a live action, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
We're going to.
Yeah.
It sucks donkey balls.
Well, here's the thing. Even compared to the original story, the cartoon doesn't even get it.
I know there's a complexity in comics though.
Right.
Like it's just like
because it's a long running format. I mean, that's
Exactly.
really it's the advantage of comics is you can build up these stories over the course of a decade if you really want to. Tom King set out and he did 85 issues of a 100-issue arc that he had planned for Batman. I mean, that was, and granted, they're publishing twice a month. Still, 100 issues is 5 years. He was telling a 5-year story.
Yep.
And you can build that story over that time. Cartoons, movies, I mean, especially the movies. But Marvel's figured it out how to get you to hang on for 10 years before you get that payoff with Thanos finally in Endgame. So I'm very, very hopeful that they'll play the long game with the Jean Grey story arc.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I feel like
what?
with
Sorry. What if Dark Phoenix ends up being like the next Thanos?
That's exactly how they could run that.
I feel like they've already had 2 shots at the apple, and then people want to actually see some of the other. So here's the thing: the movies started with Cyclops, but it became really quickly Wolverine.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like, basically took off. That character was more interesting. I think it was better acted. I feel bad for James Marsden.
I don't.
Oh no, James Marsden was perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry.
He was
Hey,
perfect, like...
It's me. Prove it. You're a dick. Okay.
He was good. But, like, I mean...
Let's be honest. Has he really gotten any good roles since?
Yes.
Yes, he
Wait,
actually has.
really?
He's actually had a lot of really good roles.
Oh, the only ones I know past X-Men, like that he was in, were Hop and Sonic the
So,
Hedgehog.
anyhow, like, characters like
Westworld.
Jubilee...
Oh,
Yeah,
he was in
Westworld.
that?
Westworld is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Characters like Jubilee, Gambit
Right.
are piss poorly done. They were trying to make that Gambit movie with
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. Actually,
And-
with Taylor Lautner at one point.
Yeah, because they put him into.
Yeah. So here's my thing. If they need to make, if they're probably going to make more X-Men adaptations. It's
they're
good.
definitely
Oh
going
yeah,
to.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I just feel like they need to. The characters are so diverse, like, and there's a huge palette. They need to find a new angle.
Right. So
You can't just like, okay, we're gonna do Picard and Magneto again. Like the thing that X-Men 1 and 2, the movies did really well, is it may ingrain their relationship.
Yep.
With the World War II Nazi allegory and the the LGBT community undertone.
right.
So we don't need that again.
I'm not even going to say LGBT. The thing that X-Men has done perfectly in its entire 60 years of existence is it's any marginalized group.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is that movie specifically was, specifically for Magneto and.
You're right.
Anyhow, I'm not articulating it very well.
Okay.
I'm just saying comics as a whole run, as an X-Men thing, you were absolutely right. I'm talking about specifically those movies. If they make another adaptation, they could find a different angle.
Okay.
That's all.
I'm down with that. And they need to. But the thing is, you can't
They did it with Michael Fassbender's version of Magneto when First Class came out.
But
And
they
segued a little bit.
Here's the problem that I have with those films, all of them, is that Magneto's in every goddamn one of them. Every one.
Well,
I mean,
movie studios went,
Logan.
hey, we got someone famous.
He wasn't
Let's
in
use
Logan.
it. What's that?
Magneto wasn't in Logan.
Okay. So you got one, but that wasn't even an X-Men movie. That's a Wolverine solo story.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I'm saying every
trying.
time...
He wasn't in any of the Wolverine movies.
No.
Well, he made a cameo appearance in the Wolverine, actually.
How did he do that?
Post-credit scene.
Oh,
With
that
Professor
doesn't,
X.
That doesn't count.
The studios invested in the
You're right, he did,
actor,
but that doesn't count.
which brought the character.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the characters. Oh, we're gonna make another this character movie.
Right.
They were investing in the Michael Fassbender movies. They were investing in.
Right.
Like,
In the
James
film.
McAvoy.
The actors that make money.
Thank you.
Right.
Anyhow,
So to bring it back around,
yes.
Joey, your introduction to X-Men.
Well, for me, of course, it was the movies. I remember...
Which movies? Because
Well, like, as a
you're
li-
young enough that it could have been. It probably wasn't the first ones. It was probably, I would guess, first class kind of ones.
Actually, as a little kid, like, I used to love watching X Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea how bad it is.
Well, I mean,
It's
you're a
okay.
kid, right?
Look, and here's what I'll
That's
even-
the point. Is what was your introduction? That
Right.
doesn't
But, yeah,
matter.
and
Good, bad,
then-
otherwise.
Good, yeah.
The fir-
exactly.
But the first one I did see in theaters was First Class, and that was a memorable experience.
Right.
Because we kind of cheated and also saw Green Lantern the same day.
we theater hopped.
Yeah.
Kids today don't understand about theater
They don't
hopping.
get how that works.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was actually a good movie too. It wasn't
Yeah.
just a good X-Men
And
movie. It
it's
was actually a
honestly
good movie.
Still my favorite X-Men movie.
Yeah.
That is just freaking awesome.
Yeah. That was a
And,
good movie.
My first X-Men comic I ever read was actually the Dark Phoenix saga that I read as research for another topic we discussed.
That's cool.
Yeah. And honestly, I did like it. Like, I didn't even need the full context of like how she got it. Just like, I just needed that.
Right.
Just how she went insane, especially compared to the movies and
Right.
how bad they were.
Right.
And the movies are with the